Again, yeah, I shouldn't really be stealing, but there's a knife in here which I'm going to go ahead and take. As long as nobody's seeing you, it's not a problem. Um, for example, I can uninstall this rack, right? Now, it's going to tell me I'm in the middle of doing a crime, which is damage, and as long as I'm not seen, not a problem. So, as long as I'm not caught by the authorities, that won't have a warrant for my arrest. I won't be, in trouble. So now, because I've already taken that rack out, haven't been caught taking it, I guess. I'm going to toggle this off, throw it back in inventory, pick up my, pick back up my toolbox here into my hand, step down here, there's the rack. This is what I'm saying about derelict ships and deconstructing and uninstalling. So we've got a rack here, which is worth a 759, right? So apparently I've got a trait on this particular character that tells me the exact value. I didn't know I had that, so there you go. Anyway, you can see the exact value, probably because I'm in the space station. But what I'll be able to do then is, because it's too heavy, I can't carry it in hands. I can't, put it into a bag because it's too heavy. I got to drag it, right? And you can buy trolleys that will help you later on. But you'll see now the animation for dragging does the same in space, which is a little odd to me. But you can see he's just dragging this here. Now, some things get a little bit damaged from dragging, some don't. The likes of like O2 containers, they can get a little bit damaged or lose some gas because they're being shifted and moved. But this particular case, you can see there's the damage bar there, how much damage is being done. But nobody will suspect that that is actually a stolen rack. They won't know. So we go out, and this is the airlock. So we just walk through. Now there's two ways you do it. You can manually open airlocks. As you can see, if I click here, it's going to tell me I don't have the permission on the roster. Oh, or it will. Normally it does not let you do that. For some reason it just bypassed, didn't let me do it today. But you can switch that to thumbs up, and what that will do is you will be able to walk through that door. In normal circumstances, I'm guessing when the airlock is maybe not in a place where the kind of the pressure is okay and normal, maybe like a vacuum or something. So anyway, you can see this is the rack. When you've got stuff in your hands, you can mess with the inventory of that particular rack. So I could put stuff in there now if I wanted to, like the knife or these waters, right? And then I can rotate this and put it in the ship. Now, your ship space and what you can dismantle, uninstall, and bring, you're limited to these spaces in your ship. So each floor space is one square. Different parts take up different squares. So a battery will take up 4 if it's like a standard battery. If it's like a mini battery, it'd be 1. The rack obviously takes up 3, right? This heater takes up 4. So it all very much depends on what you're trying to take apart and to put in here, like O2 canisters or N2 canisters, right? They take up 1 slot, and they've got quite high value compared to, let's say, for example, a battery, right? 4 slots for 1900, 1946, but a lot of that's to do with the gas that's actually sitting in it. So we'll go through that later on when we're dismantling, I guess. As you can see, I'm full up on, I guess, rubbish, bits and pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and drop my toolbox. Don't need to be carrying it, and throw it there. And I don't need the 2 bags, so let's throw that there for now. And I believe it's this one. So I'm going to go ahead and put it actually in the rack. So I can pick this up for a second, put that in the rack, and then again throw it back down. So nice and easy way to manage inventories, but it's quite important, I guess, during the game. So if you want to clean up the screen, double tap I, brings everything that you have access to back to where it should be. Going to do a quick trade here. So this is like where you'll sell your scrap. So stuff like I said, you'll go out, deconstruct, disassemble, get like scrap aluminum, and then you'll be able to go in here and sell those for cash, right? So I'm gonna, which I have none of at the moment. That's because I remember I gambled everything and ran away without my money. So lost my money, but got a ship in return, which is a fair deal for me, you know. And you can see here other wanted items. We click this, it's going to tell you what these guys actually buy. So nice way to, I guess, to know what to prioritize. I guess until you get used to the game, the easiest things to remember for this particular one until you get a trade license, which we'll run through now in a second. So this is the scrap. You can sell anything. Well, you can sell what they're buying here, and they buy a select amount of stuff. The O2 canisters, the N2 canisters, they're really good to start you off. But once you get a bit of cash, you need a trade license. Now, I can't trade with these guys because I don't have one, but they buy a lot more stuff, a lot more. And you're going to be managing all your, you know, micro kind of, I guess, feelings or micro, it's not microaggressions, micro feelings and everything else that you have. So the simulation aspect is there. So witness beauty, right? So it obviously gives you a little bit of a nice positive buff. Not big, but I'm sure every little helps, right? In here you can remember your family. That's obviously going to bring up. So it brings up the effects there, which you can see is family, keeps control. So it's just a nice way to manage kind of these buffs and debuffs. So you have to watch these as well. So anyway, let's go ahead and do what this is asking me to do, right? So right click anywhere in the room repeatedly until you find the pressure, which you can do by right clicking until you find it, or just go to compartment and that'll tell you the different types of gases. So if you see oxygen gas low pressure and you can't figure it out, maybe the pump here is blocked, or maybe the CO or the O2 canister is out. So there's a couple of different ways you have to manage that. So press X, and this is the condition of items or installs or walls or floors. So obviously the redder it is, the worse it is. Really good for when you're out and dismantling ships, etc. Right? So right click the nav station to restore it. So the nav station is where you're going to fly your ship. Go to other ones, start deconstructing, dismantling. So let's go ahead and do what it's asking me to do. I need to restore. So let's get repairing, like I said. Once you have the items in your inventory, doesn't matter if they're in your hand or not, he's going to go ahead and use them as needed. Now, repair X1 speed, as you can see, because my skills in that particular area is not good, but they do grow in time, and you'll see that in a while. So with that done, I can press X to get out of the overlay like it's asked me, and right click the nav station to use it. So go ahead and cancel the action, use this, and I'm going to go back to 1 speed. So this is the comm station, nav station. This is where you're going to fly the ship. It's like a little cockpit. It's nice little touch to the game, not going to lie. Again, you can read through this when you're doing it, but essentially this is a planet. I've crashed into a few times not knowing what it was, just so you know. So this particular green circle is a planet. If you see masses like that, they're actually planets, planetary or kind of big body that you will crash into, and yeah, you'll just die. So what it's asking me to do here is to essentially disembark from this particular station, right? So switch to comm control, right? It's going to tell me to hail the ship. So underneath this box when it leaves, hail this OKLG, right? Now, what it's going to ask me to do is do undocking clearance, right? So go ahead and click that. They're going to give me clearance. Click the clamps to disengage. Otherwise, you'll massively, catastrophically wreck your ship. Now you can switch between map control or RCS maneuvers. Switch between tracking your ship or your target, right? And then WAS and D for you know, thrusting away from, I guess, the station. Now it's going to ask me to rotate my ship. E, right? And then Q to stop it from spinning, right? Now, I'm not spinning, so, okay. Now, don't use a lot of fuel. You don't really need to. These rotation controls. Until the ship's pointing towards, right? So what I need to do is just point towards the ship here. Right, so you can see, you can zoom in a little bit more if you need to. Close to 0, right? So I'm on -1. Use rotation controls. Okay. Anyway, so that's what I was asking for. Now, if you try to do 2 directions at once, you're going to get G-force. But basically what it's going to tell me to do, it's going to tell me to go to the nearest derelict ship, right? So, or point of interest. There's loads of them. So many of them. So let's just focus on this small one over here. And then what I need to do is give the ship a little twist, point it in the right direction, slow it down, and then just give it a bit of a nice little dart there. Like I said, too much G-force. You can see the weight on the character, so I would have been overloaded. Now, it's moving in the right direction. Let's just get that spin a little bit back in control there. Okay. Now, it's moving in the right direction. You don't need to keep the hand on the the W button to go forward. Fuel is expensive, really expensive in this game, especially when you start off. So what you can do is, and the shifts move really slow. So you just need to be going in the direction, like space will do the rest of the job for you. You just keep the ship on track. You can see there, it's going nicely towards where it needs to go. I just put it on 8x speed. You want to get within 5k, so I'm at 26 now. So you can see it's just catching up on those missions now all of a sudden. So I will be close to this ship in a few minutes. Oh. So 8x, we're going to bring it back down to 2, right? K on the keyboard will match the speed. So for example, when you're getting close, very close to the ship, you can go ahead, match the speed of the target. What it's going to do is slow the ship travel down to match the speed and point it kind of in a direction. Now turn it off and give this a little push just to put you in the right direction. Now within 5k you get the prox warning. I'm going to clear that alarm, go to the local channel, hail the ship, or the comms control I should say, and hail the ship. Question mark 5k, so let's click this one. Okay, unresponsive, initiate uncontrolled docking procedure.